Today we are doing the Lucky Duck scavenger hunt, taking us to 15 unique stops around the city of Huntsville, Alabama. I will note there are obviously going to be spoilers in this video if you plan to do it. The stops are bookmarked throughout, so feel free to skip around if you're simply looking for a hint in your own hunt. We'll also be making some additional stops for food and beverage that aren't a part of the scavenger hunt, but places we definitely recommend. Alright, so let's jump in. The first stop is where you'll also get your scavenger hunt guide, and that is the Huntsville Visitor Center. So, the first duck from Jeeves. Found him.
Found it.
This was probably the easiest duck to find on the whole tour. Alright, and on to the next duck. I would say that we spent the most time looking for this guy. The hint was, on a street with the same name as in Ohio City, this musical ducky is nesting safely among some big stones in front of a lumberyard, now a live music venue. We went down Cleveland Street and ended up at this nightclub, which didn't seem right. Very confused already. Maybe we're not smart. So we went to the opposite end of Cleveland Street and found the lumberyard. But we were still a little stumped when we got here. We walked all the way around the lumberyard, accidentally on these live railroad tracks, and still couldn't find this little duck. Nothing here. This is a photography place. Yeah, so nothing in this hint mentions anything about a random photography studio. At this point, we're just wandering aimlessly around this building, mostly around the music venue side, as it's what was mentioned in the hint. That's ridiculous! Oh my gosh. Insane. We can't even take a picture with it. Yeah, Rocker was tucked behind this plant at the photography place, but we did find him. And on to our next duck, Buddy. Is that part of this? Okay, so we will park here, then we'll go over, continue on. From the lumberyard parking lot, we walked over to the Bud Kramer Park. And of course, we see some real-life ducks. And it seems like a good place for Archie to get a little sip of water. That is, until we learned that there were snakes in this water. Not really a fan of that.
There's a bridge and there's a playground. And it likes to be on the right.
Once we got past the snake, we did find Buddy the duck on the other side of the bridge here. Sometimes the rattling of these tracks makes the lucky duck quack. And on to the next stop, which will be the historic depot, which is about a 10-minute walk away. After a little bit of exploring, we finally find Quackers, our fourth duck, right on the front of the yellow depot building. Now we're on our way to find the next duck, Cash. We'll make a quick stop at the Huntsville Veterans Memorial as we pass by. This is a really neat memorial as it has timelines and stats of all of the wars in which the U.S. has been involved. Alright, let's continue on to find Cash the duck. The hint indicates that he's located here at the Harrison Brothers General Store. We stood here for a solid minute, not being able to see him, but luckily a store employee came out to tell us to turn around. As we walked through the downtown area, we noticed this store with the German name Coffee Klatsch was open, and that's exciting because this place is usually always closed. For lunch, we decided on Moe's Original Barbecue. We're not too hungry, so we're just gonna share a meal for now. And right across the street from Moe's is Big Spoon Creamery, which is a great little ice cream shop with artisan handcrafted ice cream. We got the fig and mascarpone, and it was fantastic. They also have incredible service. The cashier noticed I had Archie waiting outside and brought me a dog menu, so Archie got a free treat. I will say though, I've never ordered for my dog before, so I didn't know what he would like. Turns out, it's not bananas. On to the next duck, and leave it to Kevin to notice a special car. We are heading to the Alabama Constitution Hall, which is where Alabama gained its statehood.
Huntsville was initially the capital of Alabama until they moved it down to Montgomery.
And here is our sixth duck, Mrs. Feathersby. And now on to the next duck, who will be at the historic Whedon House, which was the home of artist and poet Maria Howard Whedon. What is it?
I think I know where it is.
Oh, that's a fan light window. Found a duck.
Also, I'm talking about building.
After finding Howard the duck, we're on to the next one.
Buy this one.
You're gonna buy that one?
Yeah.
Why?
Has 3 garages.
Why would anybody ever need 3 garages? This is beautiful. Is this a house? Wow. The houses in this historic district are something else. Large, stunning, perfectly manicured. And soon we're at the Children's Museum, where we find our 8th duck. The hint mentioned that this duck was behind bushes, but it looks like all the shrubs have been yanked out recently. Oh, there it is. Check off Duckleberry Finn, and we move on to our 9th duck, Splash. Right behind the Children's Museum is the nice little Bicentennial Park, which contains a splash pad. Kinda confusing because Splash is actually not very close to the splash pad. He's over by this little girl statue.
To the art museum.
Let's go to the art museum. Vincent Van Duck was one of the easier ducks to find on this little adventure.
This little duck likes watching all the events next door at a building named after a famous German rocket scientist.
Is that you?
Let's go to the Von Braun Center.
Archie's totally a fan of the live ducks. He really wants one. So we're looking for Puddles, the duck somewhere in the Thrasher Memorial Fountain, right behind the Von Braun Center.
That's the Von Braun Center, and that's the Volksarena. Are they male? I think they're getting a green hat.
Yeah, they're becoming a man. These are still newer, huh? They're younger guys. And what do you know? Our 12th duck, Bridgette, is at the Japanese Friendship Bridge here in Big Spring Park. For our next duck, we cross the street to the other side of the Big Spring Park. This is at the historic site of John Hunt's cabin. Hunt is, of course, for whom Huntsville is named. How did you find that? This was probably the second most challenging duck to find. I definitely don't have it lined up for the picture, but it's okay. On to Duck Norris. He's our 14th duck. He's really close by. We just have to climb up all these stairs first. And there he is. Before we check off our last duck, we're all getting kind of thirsty, so let's stop and get something to drink at Honest Coffee. And our last duck is a little walks away from Duck Norris, here at the Mars Music Hall, specifically in front of the Mark C. Smith area. And with that, we've officially got all our ducks in a row. Time to walk back to the car. Archie, pooped over there? What a fun poop. Oh wow, I can see it from here.
A very active ranger.
Don't forget to head to the visitor center to claim your prize for completing the Lucky Duck scavenger hunt. Oh, yay! Nice.
What do you think? What it looks like?
Okay.
Since it's a rocket city, it's of course duck on the rock.
Oh, look at that! To wrap up the night, let's get some food. First stop is called the Stovehouse, and it's essentially this nice outdoor food hall with live music on most nights. I was kind of bummed though, because none of the TVs here were working, and I was really hoping to watch the game. We got some food from the Chinese place here, but my favorite is Seoul Good, this Korean shop that has really great chicken wings. Do you want to go to school?
Yeah, I want to go. I feel like I need math.
You need math?
Yeah.
After the Stovehouse, we walked about a block over to another unique Huntsville location called Campus 805. And it's basically an old school that's been transformed to have different restaurants, bars, and other establishments in the old classrooms. Here's a whole brewery in what used to be the gymnasium. We're here during the Oktoberfest season, so of course we got one of the German beers they were serving. And finally, I found a working TV. Do you feel German right now?
Really, yes. We always eat it with cheese, I guess.
This is really big. Look at my hand. Yeah. It was a good pretzel. And that wraps up our adventurous Huntsville day.